everyone. Today we will learn genetics. Genetics. As we know that human beings, we are just like our parents. Similarly, elephants produces a small elephant baby. Just like that, in plants also, a mango tree originates from the mango seeds itself. But how it occurs? It completely depends on the genetics. So what is genetics? Let's see what is genetics. So genetics, it is actually a branch of biology. Genetics is a branch of biology which deals with the heredity and variation. But this definition is not enough to understand the genetics. So what is genetics? So before understanding complete meaning of genetics, let's see some basic terms which are very much essential to learn and to understand various concepts of genetics. So let us start the terms each one by one. First of all, we have to understand what is DNA, then what is genes, and then just next first we'll start that what is DNA and what is genes. What are genes? So you can say that genetics is the study of genes, but what are the genes? So you will say that genes are the units of genetics which can carry the characters from one generation to next generation. Then what is DNA? Of course you know it. DNA is deoxyribonucleic acid. But how these both are connected? Actually, a singular gene is the unit, is the small part of DNA which is actually made up of DNA. So we can say that DNA is the chemical nature of gene, and each gene is responsible for inheritance, for transfer of characters from one generation to next generation. But how these genes are transferred? So these genes are transferred through chromosomes. Now let us see what are the chromosomes. You have already studied in lower classes that chromosomes are the hereditary vehicles. That means, for example, in human being, 23 pairs of homologous chromosomes are present. I am using the term homologous. Within few minutes, I will tell you what are homologous chromosomes. Okay, so let us see this 23 pairs. It means 46 chromosomes are present, and out of these 46 chromosomes, as we know that male have 44 plus XY and females have 44 plus XX chromosome. So we know that the 44 chromosomes are similar in male and female, but the last pair of chromosomes is differ in male and female, and that is why they are called as sex chromosomes or heterosomes. But we were talking about the genes and DNA. Then what is the correlation between gene and chromosome? Actually, when we look at the nature of chromosome, the chemical structure of chromosome, then we, roughly we can say that chromosomes are made up of DNA plus proteins, right? So DNA, it means the DNA very coiled structure, and these coiled structure they coil with the help of proteins, and then they form the hereditary vehicles that is called as chromosome, which can carry the gene, actually chemical DNA, in the form of gene from one generation to next generation. By which process? Of course, by the cell division process. So before proceed, let me revise one basic concept again, that is about diploid and haploid. These are very important terms. Let us understand what is this. Haploid means the number of chromosomes 23. Diploid means 23 pairs. It means, for example, in male and female gametes, for example female ovum and in male sperm, only 23 chromosomes are present. But in all other body cells, 23 pairs of chromosomes are present. That means 46 chromosomes. So the complete set of chromosomes present within each cell is called as a diploid cell, a karyotype, in which the chromosomes are present in pairs. So pairs means which type of pairs, how they will form the pairs. So I will tell you one example. Suppose these are 5 chromosomes, right? Different structures they have. 5 chromosomes, suppose we have one cell which have only 5 chromosomes. So these are the 5 chromosomes. That means if a cell is haploid, then only 5 chromosomes are present. But let us assume that we have diploid chromosome. So 5 plus 5, that means the total number of chromosomes for that species will be 10. Then what is the homologous pairs? I told you about the homologous pairs. The homologous pairs means the chromosomes, the similar type of chromosome, the chromosomes which are similar in structure as well as the genetic composition, the arrangement of gene. They are called as homologous chromosomes. So in this way we can say that these are the 5 chromosomes, these are the 5 chromosomes. Chromosome number 1 pairing, right? 2 pairing, 3 pairing, 4 pairing and 5 pairing. So we have, in this type we can say that we have 5 pairs of homologous chromosomes. And in this way we can say that if one gene is, a form of gene is present on this position on one chromosome, then definitely the other form of gene will present on the same position on another chromosome. And that is why these 2 chromosomes are known as homologous chromosomes. They are not known as homologous because they are different in structure. That is why roughly we can say that the structurally similar chromosomes are known as homologous chromosomes. Okay. So when the cell divides, at that time the cell division takes place. 2 types of cell division are there, meiosis and mitosis. In mitosis the chromosomes divides and then the chromosomes, complete set of chromosome divides, and then these 5 chromosomes, they goes in each pair. Again they form the pair and then they goes, the same number transfers into the next cell. But in meiosis what happened? This diploid cell divides into haploid cell, and now only half of the chromosome goes into the gamete, and that is why each gamete have so the cell divides and forms the haploid cell. That means the 23 chromosomes are present in ovum when the ovum is formed, and similarly in males, when the sperms are formed, at that time also the meiosis takes place. That is why they form the haploid cell sperms. Okay, so let's come back to the genetics again. So these are the 3 basic terms which we have to understand properly. DNA, that means the chemical nature of gene, and the DNA means deoxyribonucleic acid, which is present of course in the nucleus or even in the cytoplasm of prokaryotic cells. Then it is a polynucleotide of course. Then gene is the basic unit of genetics which transfers the character from one generation to next generation. Then chromosomes are the hereditary vehicles which transfers the genes from generation to generation through cell division. Now let us see the gene. For example, we have gene for height, right? Or suppose we have some gene for a flower color. So there are some genes which decides the height of a plant and the color of a flower. But the height of a plant may be tall or it may be dwarf. Correct? Similarly, suppose we are talking about pea plant, the edible pea, mutton. So about that, the flower color may be violet or white. So here we can see that each gene have 2 alternate forms, and these alternate forms of genes are known as alleles. Okay, so this is another new term. The alternate form of genes are known as alleles, and alleles are generally at this moment we can say that alleles are alleles are present in two alternate form, either this one or this one, this one or this one, like that only. Afterwards we will. So alleles are the alternate form of genes, and they may be present in two alternate form. Here we are saying that only two alternate form. Afterwards we will see that more than two alleles are also possible. How? That we will see in another lesson. Okay. So alleles. Now let us see. We have to show the characters by some symbols. So here we will show the tall with capital T and dwarf with a small t. Remember, this is for our convenience only, so that we can understand that this is the recessive form of a gene and this is the dominant form of a gene. Now what are the recessive and what is dominant? We will look after just few minutes. Okay. So tall, capital T, dwarf, small t. Somebody can say that why we are not taking capital D and small d. We can give privilege to dwarf also, but beta, as you know that always the dominant one, जो ज़्यादा प्रभावी होता है, that only express itself. So that is why we are taking tall, capital T, and the small form, the small letters of the same letter we will consider for the recessive one. Then now let us understand what is dominant and what is recessive. Okay. Okay. Before that, let's go back to this condition. Now, this is very important concept which you have to understand properly. See, diploid cell each have 23 pairs. It means 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5 and so on. Okay. So it means in each diploid cell there are two chromosomes of first type and two chromosomes of second type, two chromosomes of third type, that means pair. Just like our this cell, the two chromosomes of this type, to this, like that 5 pairs. So suppose we have to show an individual by this symbol, that how we can show a tall individual. So we have to write two letters simultaneously, two letters. So the probability, maths comes here again. So probability what say, that capital T, capital T small t and small t. 3 possibilities are there. So these 3 possibilities, it means these are the 3 individuals which have some characters. So which will be tall and what will be dwarf? Let us see now. The dominant and recessive. So dominant means when that allele is present, then in that case it will express itself always. Okay, let us take one example to understand this. Suppose आपका एक ग्रुप है, ओके, कुछ 4-5 फ्रेंड्स का ग्रुप है. आपके ग्रुप में बहुत अच्छे फ्रेंड्स हो आप सब, लेकिन मान लो आपको जाके टीचर से कुछ बात कहनी है, तो आप सब नहीं जाओगे. कोई एक होगा आपके ग्रुप में जो हमेशा आगे बढ़ के अपनी बात कहेगा, ठीक है ना, क्योंकि आपको लगता है कि वो ज़्यादा अच्छे से अपने आप को एक्सप्रेस कर सकता है. तो इसका मतलब क्या होगा कि जब भी ग्रुप में कोई बात सुनी जाएगी, अगर कोई छोटी मोटी कॉन्ट्राडिक्शन आ भी गया, कोई बहस हुई, तो भी हो सकता है उस व्यक्ति की बात ज़्यादा दम हो, उसमें ज़्यादा सुनी जाए, क्योंकि वो थोड़ा डोमिनेटिंग पर्सनालिटी का, हम कहते हैं ना कि यार वो थोड़ा डोमिनेटिंग है. ठीक उसी तरह से ये जो है कैपिटल टी, ये इसकी इच्छा होती है कि मैं हमेशा अपने आप को एक्सप्रेस करूँ, तो इसीलिए क्योंकि उसमें ताकत है, तो हम कह सकते हैं अभी कि द allele which can express itself, that will be a dominant one. So allele may be dominant or the allele may be recessive. Then what is recessive? Recessive means that allele which cannot express itself in the presence of dominant one. Remember, I am repeating it. The allele, the character which cannot express itself in the presence of dominant one. So that is why लेकिन वो अपने आप को कब एक्सप्रेस करेगा? When the dominant is not present, at that time the recessive allele will express itself. तो इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? हम फिर यहाँ आते हैं, कैपिटल टी ये किस तरह का इंडिविजुअल होगा? टॉल, क्योंकि दोनों कैपिटल है. स्मॉल टी ये कैसा होगा? ये होगा ड्वार्फ. क्यों ड्वार्फ होगा? क्योंकि भाई इसके पास तो कैपिटल टी प्रेजेंट ही नहीं है, तो इसीलिए ये कैसा होगा? ये तो ड्वार्फ ही हो जाएगा. लेकिन कैपिटल टी स्मॉल टी ये कैसा इंडिविजुअल होगा? ये भी होगा टॉल, क्योंकि कैपिटल टी है और ये अपने आप को एक्सप्रेस करेगा. उसको कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है कि स्मॉल टी प्रेजेंट है कि नहीं. सो दैट इज व्हाई इट इज ऑल्सो टॉल इंडिविजुअल. एंड इन दिस वे वी कैन से दैट the dominant and recessive two types of alleles are present. Now on the basis of this, what you can say that something is that which we can see by outer external features, and something is there which is actually decides the on the basis of its genetic constitution. So here are two new terms again. So these are the new terms: genotype and phenotype. Okay, so genotype means genetic constitution of the individual. This and this. These are the genotypes of different individual, different plants. But what is phenotype? Phenotype means physical appearance. You can remember by this thing. Geno means genetic arrangement. Pheno means physical appearance. कैसा दिखता है बाहर से, हम बाहर से कैसा उसको देख पाते हैं. So these two are the tall individual and this one is the dwarf individual. Okay. एक interesting facts देखें. Suppose I will write this. Which type of individual will be it? You will say, ma'am, it will be a tall individual. What is this? Again, it will be a tall individual, of course. Because you know that capital T is dominant and small t is recessive. But you can tell me very surely that it will be a tall, it will also be a tall. But suppose I will tell you that now can you predict the genotype of this phenotype on 100% surety? Then you can say that no. Why no? Because it may be capital T or capital T small t, right? So that is why listen carefully. That is why we can say that the phenotype can be predicted on the basis of genotype, but genotype cannot be predicted on the basis of phenotype. Or we can say like that also, phenotype depends on the genotype, but genotype doesn't depend on the phenotype. Okay. So now next thing, the next is homozygous and heterozygous. This is very interesting. Homozygous means, see, zygous means the progeny, the offsprings, जो अगली जनरेशन बनेगी, ठीक, या गैमेट्स बनाने वाले की. जैसे एग्जाम्पल आप लोगों ने लोअर क्लासेस में पढ़ा हुआ है, फीमेल, human females always produces all the eggs, all the ovum which carries X chromosomes only. But the males have X and Y both, and that is why they can produce two types of gametes, two types of sperms. Half of the sperms carries X chromosome and half of the sperms carries Y chromosome. In this way, what we can say that the females are homozygous because they produces all the gametes of same type, while the males are heterozygous because they produces the gametes of two different types, more than one type. That is why they are heterozygous. So similarly, let us come back to the same example again. What will be this? Like this or this? Of course like that. So they will produce only one type of gamete which will carry capital T only. What about this? This will also homozygous because they all will carry small t only. But what about this? They can produce two type of gametes. Half of them will carry capital T and half of them carry small t. To understand this, let us again go back to our chromosomes. These chromosomes. Okay. Suppose these are two chromosomes. On one capital T is there and on other suppose small t is there. Okay. So at the time of, this is the diploid cell. At the time of gamete formation, these diploid cells become haploid. So how many gametes are produced? Two types of gametes. And in two types of gametes, on one capital T is there and another small t is there. Suppose on both of them same type of allele was there. Suppose we can write any other thing. Suppose A, capital A, capital A. Then here also two gametes are formed, but the type will be same because they are homozygous. Homozygous for A, heterozygous for T. So what we can say that? Now remember, listen carefully. This is the homozygous dominant individual. This is the homozygous recessive individual. And this is the heterozygous tall individual. Homozygous tall, homozygous dwarf and heterozygous tall individual. ये टर्म्स बहुत क्लियर होने चाहिए बेटा, क्योंकि इन्हीं टर्म्स के बेसिस पर मोनोहाइब्रिड और डाइहाइब्रिड क्रॉसेस को हम पढ़ेंगे. एक दो छोटे छोटे टर्म्स और हैं लास्ट में. एक और टर्म आता है विच इज कॉल्ड इज फिलियल. एक्चुअली फिलियल वर्ड लैटिन या ग्रीक ओरिजिन का है एंड इट मीन्स द नेक्स्ट प्रोजेनी, सन और डॉटर. So suppose this is the parental generation. Suppose parents generation. Then from the parent, the first generation, what will be the whatever the first generation will be, that is called as F1 generation. Then after that, next generation will be called as F2 generation, F3 generation, like that. So these are called filial or F1, F2, like that only. And okay, so here we can stop it, and these are only the basic terms which are required to understand various concepts of genetics. In next lesson, next class, we will understand the monohybrid cross and the pattern and the mathematical equations behind the monohybrid cross. So for today, for now only, we can stop here. You have to revise all the terms very properly so that you can understand it, and if you have any doubt, then you can write it on a paper and you can send it to me. Thank you.